Ji. So, my name is Sir Haris Bhatt, and you are seeing my YouTube channel Learn Accounting with Sir Haris. Today, we are going to solve a question of AS accounting, and that is from the chapter of errors. You can call it as errors and suspense. You can call it as errors not affecting trial balance is also a part of that. And it also includes preparation of corrected income statement and corrected statement of financial position will also be part of this chapter, which we will start from the next day. What means from tomorrow, we'll start that topic also, which is the last one. Obviously, the 2 days more, we will be able to finish this topic. So this question is covers the main essence of this topic. Why, sir? Because it includes passing of rectifying entries. It includes suspense account also. So anyone who wants to know about the whole chapter, if he is able to understand this question, he will be able to understand the chapter also. How come, sir? I will discuss in detail regarding this question, and then you will be able to know that. Normally, I used to give this question for homework, not as in the. First of all, my question is from Ali that suspense account, Rafia, we need to prepare. Always remember, you can't prepare suspense account without entries. Yes, that's right. We can't prepare suspense account without entries. You have to prepare entries first, and then you are supposed to prepare the suspense account. Every entry does not involve suspense. Suspense comes only when after the rectifying entries, there is a difference. We place the difference with the name suspense account to make the two sides equal, to make the two sides of the trial balance equal, to make the statement of financial position equal. Suspense is used for that particular purpose. Let's start. A payment of 169 for motor repair had been correctly entered in the cash book, but had been debited to motor repair account as 196. First of all is this, motor repair is an expense. Expense always debit. I have to debit motor repair, which has been paid, payment 169, but I have debited motor repair with 196. This error is called as transposition error. You can also call it as error of original entry. Error of original entry means that, Rafia, we have done mistake in writing the amount. But here, the whole amount is not wrong. Only the amount has been shifted. The digits has been shifted. Rotate ho gaye digit. 169 and 196. I will go for the same procedure which we used to do in the past. Like, I will go for the correct entry. I will go for the wrong entry. And then I will go for the rectifying entry. Always remember, it is always better to prepare correct, wrong, and rectifying entry to make your questions more simpler and easier. But direct entries can also be prepared, but I won't recommend it. So, what entry should have been passed? Motor repair debit and bank credit. We can use cash also. That is also fine. But the entry is motor repair debit and cash bank credit 169. As we have paid motor repairs, motor repair is an expense always debit with 169. Bank is an asset of bank is decreasing, decrease in asset, credit with 169. What we have done wrong, we have debited motor repair, but not with 169 rather, but with 196. So motor repair is going to be debited with 196 and bank is going to be credited with the same amount. That is 169. How come, sir? Bank should also be credited with 196. No. That is why it is known as transposition error, because the examiner has asked you that motor repair had been correctly entered in the cash book. So in the cash book, it is correctly entered. It means the bank is correctly credited with 169. Only the motor repair account has been debited with 196. First of all, we need to correct the mistake. Just see the question, Iman. There is no mistake, Rafia. Right? But we have debited motor repair with the extra amount. So that is known as overcasting, overheaded, overwritten. If a thing is recorded more than its actual amount, we will record it on the opposite side with the extra amount or additional amount. So 196 minus 169, how much it will become? 27. So we have debited motor repair more with 27. We will give it a credit with 27. and bank is already correct. Correct thing will not come in the rectifying entry. So what will come? Suspense will come on the debit side with 27. So we have passed the rectifying entry, suspense debit 27 and motor repair credit 27, right? Any problem? Quite easy, not that difficult. But remember that please don't pass the entry of 196 on both sides. Otherwise it will become wrong. Because bank is correct. Only 196 has been written on the debit side more than its actual amount. The purchase of new machinery 670 have been debited to general expenses. This is known as error of principle because we have broken the rule of accounting. The rule of accounting says that when asset is purchased, we will debit the name of the asset. But instead of debiting machinery, we have debited general expense. Correct entry is going to be machinery debit 670, then credit 670. Instead of debiting machinery, we have debited general expense and bank is going to be credited with 670 over here, 670. Now, general expense is wrongly debited. We will give it a credit, 670. Machinery is going to be debited. Machinery we will debit with 670. Okay, so machine debit and general expense credit. This is going to be the rectifying entry. Okay, let's move forward. This is error of principle. The first one was the error of transposition or error of original entry. Principal error means that you have basically broken the rule of accounting. Because accounting says then when asset is purchased, we debit it with the name of that asset account, not with the expense. So instead of debiting asset, we have debited expense. Discount allowed 175 had been correctly entered in the cash book, but had not been posted to the discount allowed account. This can be called as error of omission because discount allowed is an expense. Expense always debit, but हमने discount allowed को debit नहीं किया. We are not able to record the discount allowed expense on the debit side. So if you want to pass the rectifying entry, you can pass the rectifying entry directly. That discount allowed is going to be debited. It is an expense. Expense always debit. 175 and right side we don't know. So here it will become suspense 175 because the other account, we don't know the other account. So the difference will be written with the name suspense account. Discount allowed is an expense. We haven't debited it yet. So we have debited the discount allowed account and suspense is going to be credited. First entry, we have suspense. Third entry, we have suspense. Second entry, there is no suspense. Every entry does not involve suspense unless there is one-sided error. One-sided error used to have suspense always in the rectifying entry. The sale general was total 86961. Sales are always credited. We have to credit sales with 86961. Total should have been 86741. So 86741. I should have credited sales with 86741. But instead of crediting sales with 86741, I have credited sales with 86961. So sales I have credited, but 86961. Again, it is an error of overcasting. We have credited sales, but we have credited it with the additional amount, with the extra amount. That is overcasting. So overcasting means that you have to record it on the opposite side with the additional or extra amount. ज़्यादा credit कर दिए. कितना जी? With the extra amount, sales is going to be debited 220 and suspense is going to be credited because there is no other account with the amount 220. So sales debit and suspense credit, right? Next entry, check for 425 received from A.C.M.A, a credit customer, had been correctly entered in the cash book but had been debited in the sale ledger control. Always remember that sale ledger control account means it's a trade receivable account. Sale ledger control account is a trade receivable account, right? So instead of crediting McCann, we have debited McCann actually, or sale ledger control account. Sir, how come, sir? In books of prime entry, there are three types of ledgers: sale ledger, purchase ledger, and general ledger. In sales ledger, we used to prepare T account of each individual customer. जिनको चीजें बेची उधार पे उन लोगों का अलग अलग टी अकाउंट बनाते हैं. सेल लेजर कंट्रोल अकाउंट इज द कंबाइंड account of all trade receivables. It is still a trade receivable. So we should, the entry which should have been passed was bank debit 425 and McCann credit 425. We have debited bank, but it is not written. So we believe that bank has been debited correctly, but we have debited McCann also, or SLCA. You can write the both words. They are one and the same thing. That is individual. Now SLCA or McCann is going to be credited with the double amount, one to correct the error and the other one to record it. That will come with 850, and the debit side is going to be the suspense. Okay, so suspense debit and SLCA or sale ledger control account is going to be credited, or McCann is going to be credited. I repeat again. McCann should have been credited with 425, but instead of giving a credit, we have debited him. So once you will credit to correct the error, and again you will give McCann a credit to record, to go for the recording of that transaction. So it will come with the double. Suspense is going to be debited. Let me prepare a T account to make you understand this small concept, which is very easy. I have to write McCann on the credit side, 425, right? But I have written it on the debit side. So once I will credit it to correct the error, I will again credit it to give it an actual credit. So I have to give credit with 850. Because एक जो मैंने किया है वो गलती दूर करने के लिए किया है, दूसरा मैंने किया है रिकॉर्ड करने. Suspense is going to be debited and SLCA is going to be credited. Total of discount received column in the cash book 490 had been entered twice on the correct side of discount received account. What is discount received? Expense? Wrong. Discount received is an income, and income always credit. Nice. So discount received should have been credited. In the correct entry, we need to credit discount received with 490. In the wrong entry, we have given credit to discount received 490, but twice. Mean either you will write it with the double amount or you will credit discount received twice. Now, you have to rectify the error. First of all, you need to correct the mistake. Discount received is wrongly credited for once because it has been additionally credited by 490. So we will debit it. Mistake has been correct. Other discount received is already correct. On the credit side, I have to write suspense. So discount received debit and suspense credit. So these are the rectifying entries which I have basically passed. For you, and that is quite simple and understandable. And I believe that you got all these things. Okay, next let's move forward. Now I have to prepare suspense account because in the question the examiner has not asked us to prepare and never asked us to prepare the rectifying entries. It was basically to prepare the suspense account. So now I am going to prepare the suspense account for the correction of errors. So let's do it. Here I'm going to write $sign. So let's see. Rectifying entries you have already passed. In first entry, suspense is going to be debited with 27, and the name will come of the opposite side, which is motor repair. Again, in the next entry, there is no suspense, so it will not come in suspense account. I'm talking about rectifying entries. I'm talking about correcting entries. Next, third entry, discount allowed to suspense. Suspense is going to be credited with 175, and the name will come of the opposite side, which is discount allowed. Okay. Then suspense again is credited with 220 because of sales. The next entry. Then Suspense is going to be debited with 850, and the name will come of the opposite side, which is SLCA or whatever you write. Then Suspense is going to be credited with 490, and the name will come that is going to be discount received. Okay, now I will go for the total of the two sides. I think debit side is heavier, and the difference will be written on the credit side is heavier. Okay, difference will be written on the debit side with the name difference in trial balance. This is basically the difference in trial balance. We will write it with the name difference in trial balance, which is normally given in the question. But when the suspense balance is not given, we will take the difference of the two sides and we will write it with the name difference in trial balance on any of the side to make it equal. Total of the credit side, please. 885. 885. Here I will write also 885, and difference in trial balance is 8. So 8 is going to be the difference in trial balance. We have passed the rectifying entry and we have calculated the difference in trial balance also. So this is the completion of the question. If you have any problem, you can ask me. I hope you understood it correctly, because that's quite simple, because it has all what we have already studied, but in a more squeezed manner. So suspense account we have prepared. Next is complete the following table. Complete the following table to name the type of error. Number 1, type of error is error of transposition error, digits key rotation. Number 2 was error of principal, because we have broken the rule of accounting. We have debited expense rather than asset. तो आपने asset की जगह expense को debit कर दिया. Number 3, there was an error of omission, because discount allowed entered correctly in the cash book had not been posted to the discount allowed. That is known as error of omission. Explain 2 benefits to a business of preparing a purchase ledger control account. It basically provides a check on the arithmetic accuracy of ledger balances. It locates errors and frauds, and it also gives us the balance of total trade payables to be written in the statement of financial position. We haven't studied yet, but just I have given the idea. State 2 items which would appear on the credit side of purchase ledger control account. Credit side of purchase ledger control account. So number 1 is going to be the credit purchases that will come on the credit side of purchase ledger control account, and interest charged on overdue account that will also come on the credit side. Interest charged on overdue account. Balance brought down will also come on the credit side, to be honestly speaking, because trade payables is a liability count. Liability is always having a credit balance. So the next question is, I think we have done that. I have given it for homework. May, June 22, 21 is the question, and I have given that question for the homework purpose. Let's discuss it a little bit. Yasmin is a sole trader. Error of commission. Define, describe each of the following errors. Examples are not required. Error of commission means that correct amount is entered on the correct side in the same class of account, but with a different name. Class of account is same, amount is same, side is correct, but name is different. Expense, rent expense, we have debited rent expense instead of salaries expense. We have debited machinery instead of building. These are error of commission. एक ही जगह भी लिख दिया. Error of original entry, when the amount is wrongly entered, right? That is known as error of original entry. When wrong amount is entered on the correct side. Error of principal, when capital expenditure is treated as revenue expenditure, or revenue expenditure is treated as capital expenditure, or correct amount is entered on the correct side in a different class of account. Class of account is different. Asset instead of expense, expense instead of asset. Okay. Goods for own use 430 have been debited to drawings account, but no other entry had been made. So the rectifying entry is going to be drawing to purchases is the correct entry. If we have debited drawings, but purchases is not going to be credited. So suspense to purchases is going to be the rectifying entry. Suspense debit and purchases credit. Return inward of 740 had been credited to return outwards account. We need to debit. Return inward is basically our sales return. So I just want to write it down. In the correct entry, we have to debit return inward with 740. But instead of debiting return inward, we have credited return outward with 740. 40. Now, return outward is going to be with 740. Return inward will be debited with 740. And suspense is going to be credited with the double amount. How much it is? 14, 1480. So return outward debit, return inward debit, and suspense credit 1480. Irrecoverable debt of 260 had been correctly recorded in the journal and in the account of the customer, but had been posted to the wrong side of bad debts account. So the entry for the bad debts is irrecoverable debts debit and trade receivable credit. Problem is this, that we have credited trade receivable, but we have also credited irrecoverable debts. Now, irrecoverable debts will be debited, one for the correction of error, one for the recording purpose. So irrecoverable debts is debited by how much? 520, and suspense is going to be credited. So bad debts debit 520, suspense credit 520. I hope you got my point. So if there is any problem, you can ask me. So May, June 22, 21, suspense account you can prepare easily, and there is then effect on profit of those errors. So effect on profit is quite easy. You know that if in rectifying entry, the first entry is suspense to purchases. So income statement account is there, that is suspense, right? Oh, that is purchases. So purchases in the first entry, in the rectifying entry, purchases are going to be credited with 430. So income statement account is credited, it means it will increase profit, right? So profit will increase by 430. 430. So 430 profit will increase because purchases is an expense. Decrease in expense will increase profit. Error 2 is in front of you. Return outward, return inward. So again, it is debited. So profit will decrease because income statement account or statement of profit and loss account is debited. So income will decrease by 1480. And with error 3, there was bad debts debit and trade suspense credit. So bad debts are debited. So again, with 520, there will be decrease in profit. So what is the corrected profit if you can calculate for me? 28750 plus 430 minus 1480 minus 520. You will get the answer of the corrected profit. 27180 is the corrected profit. Purchases is basically credited. Because of that, we have to add it because expense is decreasing, so profit will increase. Return outward, return inward is debited, so profit will decrease by both of them. And then bad debts is going to be debited with 520. Again, the profit will decrease by 520. You get collected profit of 27180. Okay. If there is any problem, you can ask me any point, anything you can ask me, please. May, June 22, 21. That is in our variant, 22, 21 variant, but this question you have to solve at home. That is October, November 12, 22. I want you to solve it at home. October, November 12, 22 is going to be the question you need to solve at home, right? So from tomorrow, we are going to solve those questions in which you have to prepare corrected statement of financial position. We need to find corrected profit, obviously, and then you have to prepare corrected statement of financial position, which is going to be not, I can't say a very difficult task, an easy task, but you need to be a little vigilant in this regard to solve such type of a question. So inshallah, I'll see you in the next class. If there's any problem, you can ask me. Thank you very much. Allah Hafiz.